Welcome in, everybody. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is All in the Charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure that you hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment, and click that bell icon for all notifications to know when I go live each and every single weekday. It feels really good to be back into the swing of things, guys. It's Thursday, as you know. Tuesdays and Thursdays are TA Q&A with CBG here. So the focus of today's live stream will be any questions that you'd like me to answer from a technical analysis perspective. It could be a specific chart you'd like me to take a look at. It could just be some general TA questions. Doesn't have to be crypto specific, but of course that is the focal point of the channel. We can go into the stock market if you'd like, but did want to make everybody aware. I did put up an additional live stream I'm going to be doing next week. This live stream that I kind of hit on yesterday, this one's going to be centered around mental health, mental health wellness. So did want to make sure that everyone is aware of that. If you go to my channel, you can actually go to the live portion of my channel and you'll see that I already have it up. So I'll be doing that next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope you can show up for that. I think it's something, obviously a much different topic outside of cryptocurrencies. You guys know that I don't just do crypto content. CBG podcast, I kind of leave that open to anything and everything in between. So something near and dear to my heart, specifically related to some adversity that I was going through in particular these past few months. It's also why I was not live streaming. And so, whenever those opportunities, again, present themselves where I feel like I can take something that was challenging and I can share it with someone else and they may benefit from it, I want to make sure to do that. So make sure to catch next Wednesday's live stream at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Todd, wanted to thank you for two things. Number one, super chats are never expected but always appreciated. I really appreciate the consistent the support that you are always showing on the channel. The other thing is, thank you for pointing out that super chats were not even enabled. So what happened was, and I'll explain this when I do the, actually I could probably explain it now. I don't mind explaining it because it's pretty much public knowledge at this point, or it is public knowledge. So one of the changes that I've recently kind of undergone behind the scenes here is I formally accepted a job offer with another company that I am super excited to join. It is an awesome opportunity. I'm going to be working with a very small team. I'm really going to have a huge impact. I'm actually going to be the only actuary working there. So definitely going to be a very hands-on sort of role. I'm excited about it. And during the process, when you're interviewing, when you've accepted an offer, they do a background check, right? So didn't really want social media kind of prevalent within that background check. Didn't know how crypto would be perceived doing crypto content. So that was the whole reason that I had taken down my YouTube channel. But in the midst of taking down my YouTube channel, what happens is you have to reapply for it to be unhidden, and all of your videos go to private, so you have to go through and make everything public. The other thing that YouTube did was it defaulted to turning off super chats for some reason. I have to go through other settings and just make sure everything is set up correctly. So Todd, I do appreciate you pointing that out. Oof, let's fucking go. Evan, welcome in. Good to see you as always. Guys, feel free to drop your questions, your TA questions, into the comments, and we can get to charts. Besides that, we're going to get to ACH first. But before we get into ACH, there were two quick charts that I wanted to cover. One is I wanted to give a little bit of a micro, lower time frame perspective update on Bitcoin. So not surprisingly, we are seeing a little bit of a bounce here. Now, something that I've routinely hit on in this channel, if you've tuned in a lot, you'll notice that I really try to hammer home on these key concepts because I'm aiming to not just inform you in terms of what my view is of the market, but I'm also looking to educate you, right? So one of the key concepts that I routinely hit on this channel is once price action has candle bodies, with that confirming candlestick that is the preceding candlestick, that close below a moving average, that moving average that was acting as support, it's now going to act as resistance, right? So it's not surprising as we're bouncing on this 200 simple moving average on the 12-hour. You guys know I love to hit this 12-hour chart up a lot on Bitcoin. Not surprising. We got to turn these all red. Not surprising that right now you can see price is coming up to the 200 simple moving average, which is at about 59,700. Keep in mind, $60,000 is also a psychological level. So now that we've broken down below $60,000, not only do we have this moving average here, but we also have a psychological level at $60,000 that we need to get back above, right? So I don't expect anything like this, okay? I don't expect a sharp rebound in the next day or two. But I'm also, like I said, while anything is possible, I'm also not expecting this, okay? I'm not expecting that. My rough expectation is you're going to see, if a true base is being formed here, which I believe it is, you're going to see a consolidation in this general area here. You could see some sort of a fake out to the downside. Maybe we take out this low here, fake people out, think we're going a lot lower, and then eventually recover. But like I said to you yesterday, the thing I was aiming to communicate to you yesterday, and I actually posted this on Twitter, what I was aiming to say yesterday was that you can mark it down that I am telling you as of May 1st that either the low is in for the entire month. The low is in at 56,500. Put it down. And if the low is not in at 56,500, we are extremely close to the low being in my opinion. And that's why I'm saying that, and I spoke to several charts yesterday that supported that statement. And that's why I was saying to you guys yesterday when I had posted on Twitter, I don't post things that are empty. Like I don't create an empty post and say, like I said yesterday, essentially this is the time to be buying aggressively if you missed moves. I back that up with supporting evidence. And the live stream yesterday was some supporting evidence, right? So this still to me is an incredible buying opportunity, and I think several months out from now we're going to be very thankful, those of us that have available dollars to be putting back into the market and are not getting feared out by things. I think you'll be very thankful if you're purchasing in at these levels. Now, one of the other things before we get off of this chart and we get into the chart I wanted to cover, and then we're going to get into your questions here. There's only one question, guys. A little silent today on TA Q&A. I only see ACH up so far, so feel free to drop any other charts in here. But one of the other things that I routinely look for, and you guys know this if you've been here for a while, what I like to do is I like to go to those lower time frames when we have price action to the downside like this. And I like to look on those lower time frames for bullish divergence, okay, on the RSI specifically. Now that bullish divergence on the RSI, as the RSI is increasing in value and price is going down, if that bullish divergence does play out on the lower time frames, which we're going to look at, I haven't looked at that today, we'll take a look at it together. If it plays out on the lower time frames and it sustains itself on the lower time frames, what happens is it starts to bleed over. That bullishness bleeds over into the higher time frames, right? So let's say right now we looked at a 4-hour time frame and we saw bullish divergence present here, okay? If the bullish divergence on the 4-hour were to be present, acted out within the chart, and then sustained itself, it would eventually bleed over into the 12-hour. It would eventually bleed over into the daily, which would eventually bleed over into the 3-day and the weekly. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So let's take, that's a nasty 4-hour candlestick. Look at this thing. Look at this. Look at this high wick here. That's a bitch of a candle. Okay, let's get off the moving averages for a moment, and let's really focus in on price action. So if we just focus in on the RSI, okay, so I actually am seeing some bullish divergence. And the reason I say that there's bullish divergence, let's focus in on the RSI. Why am I seeing, what am I looking at to determine if there's bullish divergence? Well, if we look at the low here, okay, we could see that the RSI is beginning to increase in value. Now, never mind the fact that the way the line is drawn, it doesn't matter that it's the way that I have it drawn, that the RSI is actually going through this line here. We can, if it makes you feel better, we can go like this. But the point is, the RSI is increasing in value, right? But what's going on with price? Well, the price here relative to down here, you can see that the price is decreasing in value, right? So as the relative strength index has been increasing in value, the price has been coming down, okay? Not only is that bullish divergence, but spoken to differently, what that is representing in the chart is stated differently. If I were to just tell you in words, yes, price is decreasing in value. The USD price is decreasing in value, but the strength behind those price movements going down is weakening, okay? Now, if we go to a higher time frame chart, can we see it on a 6-hour chart? No, we do not yet, okay? So what we'd want to see on a 6-hour chart, okay? Generalities, what I'd want to see is this RSI just continuing to increase, okay? That's what I'd want to see. And even if price came down, let's say price came down here and revisited this area here, we'd want to build in a higher low here. Okay, that would be some nice bullish divergence that would present itself on the 6-hour. So we are seeing some bullish divergence on the 4-hour. By no means is that an indication that all of a sudden the chart's just going to pop around. We're going to be up at 70,000. That's not what I'm saying. But it's at least an indication that there could be some momentum building within those lower time frames that's going to bleed over into the higher time frames, something to keep an eye on. Why do I have render up? So there's kind of two reasons here. Let me explain. Render is part of the same narrative that Clore AI is a part of. Okay, you guys can do your research if you're not familiar. But kind of two thoughts here. One is, as I've shared with you, I'm going to, I want to say more towards the middle of June, by the time I actually have it in my checking account. Sometime between the middle of June and beginning of June, I'm going to have some extra dollars that I can invest in the market. Now, I don't expect the market's going to be as low today, or excuse me, it's going to be as low in mid to early June as it is today. It's going to be higher because I do think that May is going to come in as a strong month up. We'll have to wait. But, or at least a strong stabilization month to say that we've bottomed. Okay, not necessarily a huge green bullish month, but at least some stabilization within price to say most likely we're continuing higher in June, okay? Now, what I'm deciding to do is whatever fiat I have available to invest into the market, where am I planning to put those dollars? Now, I did share something recently on X where I had made the statement that, you know, I may have the opportunity to buy even more Caspa, hopefully below 15 cents. But the more I thought about it, you know, as I've shared with you, for my own personal investment strategy, one of the key things that I share with you guys that is critical, in my opinion, is to remain diversified. So no matter how much conviction you have in a project, I think one of the key successes to really maximizing your potential in this market is to remain somewhat diversified, right? Caspa is my largest altcoin holding. I have a significant amount of Caspa. At least for me, I have a significant amount of Caspa, okay? More than I thought I'd have at this point. And so I think that if I took that fiat and I bought even more Caspa, I'm really going against the grain of what I believe it is to be a true disciplined diversified investor in crypto. So I don't think I'm going to buy any more Caspa. I think the Caspa I have is the Caspa I have. But I am looking to put those dollars into something, right? One of the things I'm contemplating is, as you know, MEXI is not going to be available to U.S. residents beginning June 30th. And so I'm not sure what I'm doing with my Clore AI yet. I know one of you reached out to me sharing some information I haven't looked into yet. But I don't know what I'm doing with my Clore AI, but I still want to be in the GPU rental space, okay? because I think this is going to be a big narrative moving forward, in my opinion. Not to mention that, I mean, if we look at this chart, this is a sexy chart. If I pulled up the CLOR chart, very sexy chart. I don't know what I'm doing with my CLOR. I don't know how much of it I'm going to hold on to. I don't know how much of it I'm going to end up selling. I really don't know, because I need some sort of an off-ramp to sell, right, eventually. So one of the things I am considering is, given that I really may be forced into a position where I have to sell the majority of my CLOR, where could I take those dollars and invest it into, and where could I take some new dollars and invest it into? And render is a spot I'm looking into, okay? Now, I have this ascending line here. If we come down here, you could potentially, if we get a high degree of volatility coming in May, it's very possible you could see render drop all the way down to this $4 to $5 area. If it is, I'm hoping it's an opportunity I can take advantage of. We'll have to see. It's all based on timing. Either way, if we get anywhere near the $5 to $6 level, I think that is going to represent a tremendous longer-term buy opportunity in the many months to follow. So render is the project that I'm considering putting some capital into. So just wanted to share this chart with you guys real quick and share my thoughts with you. Okay, now I want to get into your TA questions. It looks like there are some additional questions coming into the live stream, which is great to see. I see CASPA from Todd. I see ACH from Todd. And I see I see Oof dropping in Carrot. Could run with a gaming alt season. The game is called My Pet Hooligan. It launched a week and a half ago. Oof, we in that meme AI. I haven't even looked at price lately. I'm sure it's come down with the rest of the market. It looks like shit at the moment, but that's why you only invest literally no money in it. All right, let's see. I wouldn't even call that an investment, honestly. But I did appreciate the information you shared with me on Meme AI. I was way too busy with everything to get those messages earlier, and I did see you sent me quite a bit of information. So it looks like it actually could be somewhat of a legitimate project. ACH right now, quite honestly, it's expressing weakness within the chart that is parallel with the rest of the market. There's nothing here that should be surprising, given the volatility we're seeing in the market. Now, what is nice to see, this general upsloping line on the weekly is being upheld. We can look at it on the weekly or the 2-week on the RSI. I like to see it. Let's focus on the higher time frame. So on the higher time frame here, we can see this nice general upsloping line on the RSI that's holding. MACD still positive. Stochastic RSI, I know we've had a negative cross, Todd, but you can still see there's a high degree of still strength in the stochastic RSI. Why is that? If we have a negative cross on the stochastic RSI, why would I still say that there's still some strength being exhibited in there? We haven't crossed below 20. I know we've spent a lot of time in the past looking at Ethereum, and Ethereum has just kind of been hanging out. It really hasn't had some of the price movements I know I've been anticipating at this point. I think we need to be patient with that chart. But I know when we were looking at that chart, we were seeing a lot of stochastic RSI movement that was below 20. Once you start moving below 20, that's really telling you that momentum is running out. You really don't want to see that on a lot of these higher time frame views. So that's why I'm saying that, as much as it's not good to see a negative cross down, okay, especially one where it starts going below the 70 to 80 area. You can see 80 as a trigger line here. It's good to still see this above 20, okay? Now, let's focus on price action, because price action is key. What am I seeing in the chart that doesn't leave me feeling, it's not as strong as I'd like to see, and what leaves me feeling bullish? Okay. What's not good to see, what I would have liked to have seen, is us to hold this 3.3 cent area. I would have loved to have seen us hold this area. Now, this 2-week candlestick isn't going to print until Monday, okay? So I would love to get above the 3.3 cent area, but at a minimum, it looks like there's an area of price confluence on the 2-week here at about, where the hell are we at here? 3 cents. Okay. Actually, this should be green. This should be green, and this should be green. Why is this green? Because really, this is an area of support until proven otherwise, 3 and 3.3 cents. And as I've said, the way that we can confirm them as resistance is when we break down with a candle body below the area, and then the preceding candlestick remains below here. So still 3 and 3.3 is an area of support. I'd like to see by Monday, or excuse me, by Sunday's closing price at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'd like to see us at 3 cents or above. Okay, 3 cents or above. Now, if it closes at 2.95 cents, we're splitting hairs. But this is just expressing general weakness with the rest of the market. You can see right now, we've sort of double topped right here, okay? Sort of a rounding formation, to be honest with you. There are a decent amount of cup and handle formations forming within the market. Could be some sort of a cup and handle formation, a nice rounding bottom formation that could exhibit some strong upside potential once the market resumes movements up. But the other thing to keep in mind, Todd, before we get off this chart, I really want you to keep in mind, and I hold a significant amount. By the way, full disclosure, I've shared this. I own a pretty significant amount of Alchemy Pay. I've held it for a long time, actually. So key thing to keep in mind here, and why I'm very bullish about this chart, this doesn't have all the price data, by the way, is we've broken out from this huge area of resistance. You can see we broke out here. We came all the way down. Look at the volatility. You guys, thought I heard something. Yeah, there's somebody outside, I think. You guys want to talk about volatility within a chart. Check this out. Look at this price wick here, okay? We came all the way down. We opened at 3.4 cents. We came all the way down to 2 cents. And then we wicked up above it. And one of the basic things I've told you guys is if the chart is bullish, quite oftentimes when we break a descending line of resistance, we'll come back, we'll backtest it as support, and then we'll continue on up. So the area of concern for me, if we started getting candle body closes below 2.3 cents, that to me would not be bullish, right? But as long as we can stay above 2.3 cents, we're good. So even if we close below 3 and we come down to this area, I'm still good. I'm creating all these higher lows, okay? And I've got this double top here, okay, that we need to get above. So the chart looks good to me. It looks nice and healthy, and it's just for the moment consolidating and correcting with the rest of the market. Oh, Rashid, I didn't see you there. What's up, my friend? Good to see you. Let me get to Todd's other question, and then I'll get to Oof, since Todd was kind enough to super chat me. Let me see here. Let's take a look at the weekly view here. Yeah, so, yeah, and you can see the way that I have this drawn out, this did not play out the way that I thought it was going to. So you can see that on the weekly right now, this is so far textbook. We'll see if this holds. Look at all the... I'm actually going to press this up against the candle bodies. Now, the beautiful thing here, this is Caspa on the weekly. Wick, a wick. Look at us go all the way down here. A wick, a wick, a wick, a wick. And this is actually touching on the candle body. The candle body, look where we came down here twice. Now, where would I get concerned? I'll tell you where I would get concerned with Caspa. If Caspa has a weekly candle close below this line, and really it's a zone because I'm pressing it up against the candle bodies here. But if Caspa had a weekly close anywhere below the 9.5 to 10 cent area, candle body close. I'm not talking about volatility. I'm not talking about next week us faking out the entire market and you seeing a wick go like this and then quickly recover. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about candle body close below 9.5 to 10 cents. That would have me concerned. That would have me concerned because now what you're doing is you're opening up the possibility to going much lower. You're opening up the possibility to coming all the way down to 5 cents. Do I think that's going to happen? No, I do not think that's going to happen. Can I tell you with certainty that that's not going to happen? No, nobody can. You know, I'm reading the charts and telling you, again, that's the whole premise behind this channel. And I always say to you guys, I hope the authenticity comes through. I'm reading the chart. And all I'm doing is interpreting it for you. And if I'm doing a good job interpreting it for you, I'm just giving you most and least likely outcomes moving forward, right? So I think it's a least likely outcome that you're going to see a candle body close go below 9.5 to 10 cents, but it's certainly a possibility, right? We've seen before when I've spoken to things in the past, sometimes the most likely thing pans out, sometimes the least likely thing pans out. So we'll just have to remain patient. For the time being, the way you could draw this, could draw it something like this. So still looks very similar. I mean, right now, again, just because the move up that we're all anticipating, who are bullish on this, and this didn't pan out, this bull flag on the MACD didn't pan out. But for those who are bullish on Caspa, you just have to remain patient and wait for this market to show you that it wants to move up. And how is the market going to show you that it wants to continue moving up? We spoke to it yesterday. It's Bitcoin. You need to follow what's going on within the price of Bitcoin to best assess the relative strength in the market. And that was really the focal point of yesterday's live stream. Now, if we go to the price indicators, yes, the MACD is not looking good. I don't like what I'm seeing on the MACD. The RSI is oversold at 46, 47. But one promising indicator that I am seeing here that I want us to focus on is the stochastic RSI. This stochastic RSI right now is all the way down here at 0. But look what's happened. We flattened out. So now it's not just getting a cross up on this stochastic RSI on the weekly for Caspa that we want to watch for. Let's get above the dotted line, because in times past when this is, I mean, I don't even need to look at the chart, but we can. Every single time the stochastic RSI has had a positive cross and gotten above 20, we've seen a very large movement up in price. And it's not unique to Caspa. Typically that indicator, and while there is no one indicator that tells you anything, typically when you see those stochastic RSIs on higher time frames get a bullish confirmation, which is a positive cross above 20, typically that is indicative of an explosive movement up within that price if it hasn't already occurred already. So something to keep an eye out for. But I mean, look, I put my money where my mouth is. I mean, I have no deeper conviction of any altcoin. I mean, did you hear me? I have no deeper conviction of any altcoin that I hold right now from a fundamental perspective and from a TA perspective in terms of what I am anticipating moving in, what could end up being towards the end of this year. We'll have to see. But regardless, charts looking good that it hasn't closed below those key levels. Let's take a look at carrots. We might run a little bit. Typically, I've been trying to keep these live streams closer to 30, 35 minutes max. I do want to try to get to everyone's questions today because I know I've been absent for a while. So if we run a little bit over, hopefully anyone watching this in syndication won't be upset and will actually appreciate the fact that I'm back here. So this is a project apparently that's on Coinbase. I know nothing about it. It's apparently a gaming play. Let's see if there's more price data we can get. There's not much price data, my friend. We'll do what we can. So we're going to go to Coinbase here. I got the ticker right. I just wanted to make sure. Let's go to Coinbase. Yeah, there's really no TA I can do on this, man. There's nothing helpful. It's way too immature. I could spend like 2 minutes looking at this and tell you where resistance and support are. I mean, I guess the only thing I'll tell you, I'm looking at a 4-hour time frame, right? So this is kind of hard. More than anything, the reason I appreciate you bringing up this ticker here is I'm actually, because you know this, we've messaged each other, but I value your opinion. So it at least, and I would encourage everyone here to look into the project because if Oof is bringing it up, there's a reason in my opinion. So I will at the very least look into this project. So thank you for bringing it up. Key area I would share with you is 76 cents. So right now we're sitting at 60. Once we start getting candle body closes above, and I'll give you actually a zone, between 76 to 80 cents. Once you start really pushing above 76 to 80 cents, that's when you could start seeing some fireworks in this chart. What other questions? What other questions do you guys have? Track, very good to see you, my friend. Anchor, do I have a chart for that one? I think my brother is into this project. Pretty sure. Haven't looked at this one in a while, but at some point I was assessing it for sure. I like this chart. I definitely like this chart. This is Anchor on the Binance exchange here, ticker symbol ANKR. I personally like what I'm seeing in this chart. I don't know if I was charting this on a weekly. Okay, I must have been, but let's see. I'll put it right there. I'm not going to price out every single area of resistance. So right now, for me, I mean, the reason I love this, I'll show you what I see. I mean, this is what I see. There's definitely some form of a rounding bottom going on here. Okay. So as much as it's, you know, if you're a novice and you haven't been in this market long, as much as it might be frustrating to you because the market's not going up as quickly as you would have anticipated, I look at a chart like this, and you could draw this a couple different ways. I mean, you could put this here, and you could go like this. I mean, my eyes kind of gravitate towards both. The whole point is I see a rounding bottom and the possibility for some sort of an explosive movement up once the market resumes itself and we start running into these areas of resistance. But I got this laid out for you, my friend. You can see the areas of support and resistance here. I don't need to read them off. Let's take a look at the price indicators. By the way, this is on a weekly if I didn't say that already. Okay, MACD. Let's push this up here. Oh my gosh. So I didn't get the best of sleep last night, and it's my own fault because I was so excited yesterday. I mean, to be honest, the reason I was so excited yesterday and I hadn't said anything, I had given my notice at work, and I was so relieved. The amount of stress, and I'll go into it next Wednesday. To some degree, I'll share some stuff with you guys, but the amount of stress I was under behind the scenes, as it specifically related to something at work, was just, no one should have to go through that. No one should have to deal with that in life. So, I was so excited yesterday when I gave my 2 weeks notice. I mean, I think just that adrenaline, and I couldn't fall asleep last night. I was just so excited to kind of put that behind me. But regardless, we're looking at the weekly indicators on Anchor, ticker symbol ANKR. So RSI was oversold. So it's not surprising. I mean, I know I would have shared this in the past if I've looked at this. You know, when you get up here and you're above 70, now one of the things I've shared with you is typically you see a lot of those explosive price movements up in these charts when the RSI is above 70, but it's still a warning flag. I mean, this thing was all the way up here at 82. And so it was simply a matter of time until we saw a correction, right? But I will tell you this. I like what I'm seeing here. Stochastic RSI looks like it may have bottomed. It wants to cross up. MACD looks fine. RSI is at a really still healthy level at 57. I like that when we came up here, not only with the rounding bottom, but we came up here, we really haven't had that sharp of a correction when you think about it, because we've really just come back down in here. So my best educated guess and what I'm anticipating for the month, you know, if you can see in this chart, who asked the question again? Track. If you can see price stabilize in this area, dude, that's a win, okay? If you can stabilize in between this 4.3 to 6.3 cent area, dude, it is a win, okay? Again, you got to zoom out here. You got these higher lows coming in here. You get this massive higher low region that forms in this area. And now we've hit a price level up here that we haven't seen since all the way back here in 2 years. So I love this chart, man. I love the setup on this chart. So thank you for asking the question. I'll have to check. Maybe I'll text my brother now. Actually, I think he shared with me his portfolio. So never mind. I can check that myself. Welcome in, Juan. Good to see you. Let's look at WIF. I don't see black oil on. So when black oil is on, we'll take a look at Tau. Um, in all fairness, I've been doing these live streams a little bit later the past 2 days, right? So probably a byproduct of his schedule. All right, let's take a look at WIF. I also want to take a look at WIF Pepe because I haven't looked at either of these in a while. So WIF, this is a 3-day. I think for everyone writing this chart off and thinking that we're going to see some massive correction, again, I've shared with you, originally I was in the bonk camp, but I believe it's going to be WIF. I'm expecting WIF to break the top 20 and do a Shiba Inu. Okay, there's going to be a Solana ecosystem meme coin that's going to do something similar to SHIB last cycle, in my opinion. And I've shared those thoughts before, I believe. So a lot of people think it'll be Pepe. The last time I checked, the WIF Pepe chart was telling me that WIF was a stronger buy than Pepe, but we'll have to take a look at it. Either way, whether it's Pepe or WIF, if you own both and you're diversified, who the hell cares? Anyway, what am I seeing in the chart here? Let's look at the daily. Ooh. So one of the things that sticks out to me, I like to see this increase and stabilization of the stochastic RSI. We're above 20. We're trying to cross back up on this daily. RSI is oversold at 48. It's getting closer and closer to that 50 level, which would put it in the neutral territory. And the MACD, what I like to see in the MACD is, this isn't obviously what you want to see, right? That's not healthy. This is the MACD trying to stabilize itself on the daily. So to me, when I evaluate this chart, I think it would be a dangerous proposition to try to short this thing. Because for me, what I'm seeing right now is not only a stabilization in price, but we have our first higher low coming in, right? We have a low down here at, wow, we hit $1.96. Then here we hit a low of 227, right? So there's also downward resistance here. I'm also wondering if you could build a case that this is a pennant. You could. I mean, reality is we had this huge run up here, and we've sort of formed this pennant formation since then. So, and you could draw that way back there. Anyway, I don't want to get too complex with the chart, but that's what I see in the chart. In terms of areas of resistance, now support, where do you want to hold for support? I really don't want to see price. I mean, what I'd like to see, especially as a holder, I'd like to see the low here at 227. I'd like to see that hold. So that would be my first spot. And if we can hold 227, that's the best ideal scenario. That's expressing the greatest degree of strength in this chart at 227. Now, if 227 were to fail, the question we have to ask ourselves is, where is the next area of support? Pretty obvious, it's right around there, close to the $2 psychological level. So really, at the end of the day, I don't want to see $2 break. As long as $2 holds, I think we are in great shape. And there could be a pennant formation forming here. These moving averages, the 10 and 20, are trying to correct themselves. So, and start trending up. What about resistance? What are we looking for on resistance? Pretty obvious there's an area of resistance right there at $3.30. And it's really a zone. So anywhere between 318 and 330. Let's start pushing above there. We start pushing above 330, let's have a conversation and come back to the chart. But something I'll be tracking a little bit closer now that I'm back to charting, especially since I own it. Let's take a look at WIF Pepe. I think Pepe's been making some nice moves. So yeah, we had a great example of something that may not be working out in the favor of what I had expected. So this was either an ascending triangle or bull pennant, however you want to, however you choose to look at it, right? Whether you have a flat top or a descending line down. And this is a great example of something that has not moved in the most probabilistic direction. In fact, let's take a look at this. Is there any case where this is still bullish? I doubt it. Well, not as bullish as it once was. We've re-entered that. So the pennant is invalid. Might as well just delete that. But even though that is invalid, and that's the thing, guys. The other thing you have to keep in mind as a technical analyst is I'm basing this decision on, look at the price data I have, right? And it goes like this with any chart. People think that if you have a good technical analyst that redefines his view based on emerging data and that view is accurate, that now they're just moving the goalposts. That is such an ignorant statement to make. It's laughable. If you have a good technical analyst who is modifying what is drawn on the chart to still showing something that's accurate, representatory of emerging price data, all he or she is doing is reformatting their view based on the price data. That's all that's going on. Again, we couldn't predict, okay? Back here, we couldn't predict that this would go in the least likely direction, right? But what we did have, I think the way I had it shown, I forget how I had this drawn. I think it was something along these lines, something like that. But what we had shown at the time was a pole and then a pennant in here. And then we started to break out, right? So that told me, unless if we went in the least probable direction, we were going to see a bull pennant shoot much higher. Well, it didn't work out, right? We didn't go much higher. So now what I do as a technical analyst is I evolve my line of thinking to say, okay, well, now that we have several more days of price data, what does the chart look like today? I didn't know this information back here. It's what has played out since my initial view of things, right? And so now the general premise is we've got higher lows forming. So WIF is still the more bullish project in my opinion. We could come all the way down here. We could come all the way, we could come all the way. Let me look for some more price confluence. Yeah. And it starts to get choppy in here. Probably better to go to a 2-day or a daily time frame, which I'm not going to do. But the ultimate thing you want to see in this chart, hold up, okay, beyond the ascending line, which would be the most bullish of scenarios, you want to see the higher lows continue to come in, and you want to see the higher highs come in. So until that starts to become invalidated in this chart, WIF is still the stronger play over Pepe, in my opinion. Something else I'm seeing in the chart. Ooh, I'm getting hungry. Something else. Yeah, you also want to make sure a rising wedge. This is actually a bearish pattern. So you do want to make sure that this isn't forming too. This is one possible view. You know, you're coming up like this and then you dump. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But for the moment, what I am seeing in the chart is that WIF is still the stronger play over Pepe. Juan, let me get to this question, and I think, guys, we're going to sign out after this because we are well over 35 minutes, and I am also pretty fucking hungry. I've gone a long time, actually, without eating, looking at the clock. I can't believe I've gone this long. RVF. RVD, Rob Van Dam. For those of you guys who know ECW. Am I dating myself? Please drop me a comment if there's at least one person listening right now that is familiar with ECW, Extreme Championship Wrestling. Dear God, come on, Saturday nights? Guys, I was a nerd back in school. I know that's hard to believe. But I was a big nerd. I can remember plenty of times staying in while I was in high school on a Saturday evening. Was it college or high school? I don't know. I forget. Might have been high school. But staying in junior high school on a Saturday night and fucking watching ECW on a Saturday night. I think it was Mad TV. Mad TV was on. The competitor with Saturday Night Live. Mad TV. And then ECW. I was a wrestling fan back in the day. They started losing me at some point. Same thing with playing video games, guys. Like, there's a time and place for everything. Like, you know, I used to be a very big gamer, but I pretty much stopped doing that after college. I was more interested in going out and, like, you know, socializing with people and meeting girls and stuff like that. So I didn't want to, like, stay in and play video games. Kind of grew up a little bit. Same thing with wrestling. I think just wrestling changed a lot. I used to watch a lot of wrestling back in the day. I think part of it is just like a time in your life, and part of it is wrestling itself changed, man. I think my favorite era ever, without question, was the Attitude Era in the WWF. The Attitude Era was unlike anything else with Austin and The Rock. I am digressing. Let's get back to the charts. RVF, not RVD. Let's look on Mexi. Not a ton of price data here. I'll tell you what I'm seeing in the chart. Let's just condense it down. So Juan, let's get to this beautiful looking. It's not really a beautiful looking chart, to be honest. It's kind of. I feel very neutral. I often comment on the charts you guys share with me. I love when you share charts, like kind of getting this updated view on Anchor. But I love when you guys come on here and you share beautiful charts. I also love the opportunities to, when you share a shitty chart, to just keep it real with you and say the thing is a fucking dumpster fire, right? I remember saying that about Songbird. We had charted Songbird and Flair at one point, and then Flair made a hell of a V-shaped recovery. Has been consolidating ever since. Same with Songbird, made a strong recovery too. But anyway, they were dumpster fires for a long time. Okay, and this is coming from an owner of these projects, by the way, because I had XRP for the airdrop. All right, got an area of support there. I'm just going to keep a range right there. So I don't want to fall below this line, okay, Juan? Because if we start falling below this 22-cent area, and really 20 cents is a psychological level, if you see RVF below 20 cents, in my opinion, run for the fucking hills, because you got nothing down here. And there's no reason that this thing can't bleed to 8 cents or lower, right? Now, am I telling you, Juan, am I telling you that if we break 20 cents, we're going to 8 cents or lower? That's not what I just said. What I did say is that if you start to see prices go below 20 cents, which is the low with these wicks here, you have a really high risk of it going substantially lower. That's what I'm saying. So let's not, this is the no-no area. We don't, here, I'll draw this out for you. This is our no-no zone, okay? No-no. Okay, we got to make this red. There we go. This is our no-no zone, okay? Okay, Juan? We'll even circle it. A circled X. We don't want to go in this zone. This is our no-no. I'm gonna save this chart. No-no, okay? This is the no-no zone, okay? We don't want to go there. I miss doing these creative drawings with you guys. Can you tell when I say I actually enjoy doing this stuff that I enjoy it? People don't understand. A lot of people need to do a lot of things in life that I find I don't need to do to get enjoyment out of life. This brings me enjoyment, so fuck it. I'm going to chart. So right now, the area we're battling, there's a main area right around 39 cents. Of course, 40 cents is a psychological area. Another key zone of resistance. Nah, kind of like, and maybe we could debate 52 to 55 cents. Okay, come back. We'll have a conversation once we start pushing about 50, 55. So really, again, let's not go in the no-no zone. Let's stay above 22 to 27 cents. And then major areas of resistance will be 39, followed by a zone between 52 and 55. Once we start pushing above 55, Juan, then bring the chart back. We'll have a conversation, and we'll also wonder what drugs I was on as I charted this out with the no-no zone. All right. So let me see what other comments we got. You should stream on Twitch. Oh, man. No, I need to get out on the weekends and do things. I don't need to be gaming on Twitch. Oh, stream on Twitch. I think Twitch is just for gaming, right? I can't actually do my crypto content on there, can I? I'm not sure if you can do that or not. I know one of the things I do want to get a little bit more fluent with is not only having my live stream show up on YouTube, but I would love to be a little bit more versatile and use, what other word choices can I come up with to try to make myself sound smart? I'd like to get a little bit more nimble with the technology and analytics. No, I'd like to get a little bit more nimble so that when I'm live streaming, it's not just here on YouTube, but I would love to have it streaming on X or Twitter. If there's another platform I can get on, you know, if I had someone working for me that was like a social media person, I think I'd be even more active doing like fun little videos. Like on YouTube, you can do what are they called? Sorry for my voice. I think I have a little bit of congestion allergies. What are they called? Shorts? Yeah, so I mean, if I had someone working for me, like a social media person that I was paying, I would definitely put creative social media, like creative shorts together. I might get on, because I'm not on, what the hell is that called? What's the social media platform that, TikTok, even Instagram, things like that. Or, you know, if I had a social media person working for me, they could actually go through my videos and clip out certain things, whether they be educational or funny in nature, at least funny to me. But I don't know why I'm going down a rabbit hole here, but it's a cross-chain swap. Well, I will check it out. So 2 projects to check out. I'm going to check them out because I value my audience, and I would encourage you guys to do the same. I'm going to be watching the Sixers game in a little bit here, so maybe I'll pull out the laptop and kind of look into these projects. Guys, look into ticker symbol KARRAT per OOF, Carrot, and check out ticker symbol RVF, Rocket X, per one. So guys, until next time, which will be tomorrow on Friday, until next time, let's all spread awareness and let's carry the education forward. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're at.